right, here we go. What's up, everyone? This is Cedric Skycedi.
And my name is Becky.
And these are the things that you should never say to half Koreans. I am half Korean, and also my guest today, her name is Becky.
Half.
Yes, she's half white and half Korean. I'm half black and half Korean, if you couldn't tell. And today we're just gonna talk about some things that probably annoy us, if anything. You know, whenever we hear as half Korean certain things, I think even on the way here today, there were some things that were annoying us, you know, that we heard. So we want to help you guys maybe not make the same mistake.
I think this is the thing. This is some caveat you should have before watching this video. It's very easy to hear this video and try and not understand why these things might annoy us or irritate us. Some of them can be very obvious, but other things is more like small things that over a period of time you've heard it 1,000 times over.
That's
so
true.
If I snap at you because of this one tiny thing, on your side you heard it only once. On my side, I heard it 10 times today already.
Right.
So that's kind of something you should be aware of before we mention these things.
Exactly. And hopefully we won't snap at you, but
no, we're nice.
I don't think I've ever snapped at anyone.
No, we're super nice people. If you see us on the street, very nice people.
Yeah, but if you guys are new to this channel is about Korean culture and my experiences here in Korea as a black and Korean man. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell. All right, so we're just going to popcorn back and forth off of each other, and I'm going to start with the first one that you should never say to a half Korean, or something that just annoys us as half
just
Korean.
be aware of. Yeah.
Yes, we'll put it like that.
Yeah.
So for me, and this is probably the one we hear the most, and we heard it today, is you speak Korean really well.
Yeah.
And this really happens because a lot of times, a lot of Koreans, whenever they see a foreigner and the foreigner says maybe like the greeting 안녕하세요, which means hello, automatically the Korean would be like,
정말 잘하시네요.
yeah, you speak Korean really well.
Yeah.
And I think they obviously mean well by that, and I think a lot of Korean people are actually shocked because a lot of foreigners that live here, they don't really speak Korean.
They can get by just by speaking English.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they don't speak Korean that much, and so I think it does come as a surprise. But the annoying thing is the fact that, well, I'm half Korean, and so I should know how to at least say some things in Korean, right?
Right. It's very frustrating. Like, it's not even that I'm giving a great speech or, you know, I'm doing some giant presentation all in Korean, and at the end they're like, oh, you're so well spoken. It's not that. It's literally I'll get in the taxi. My hair. I'll get in the taxi. I'm like, 안녕하세요. 어디 가주세요. Right? Very like simple statements. And by the way, I speak Korean fluently, so it's even more like kind of,
yeah,
you know, it gets under your skin when you hear
me, I'm not as good
so
as
many times.
Yes.
And like, what are you supposed to say in response? Like, I literally just bite my tongue. Sometimes I just want to be like, I'm Korean, or like, my mom's Korean. I learned Korean. Like, why are you surprised? But from their point of view, to them it's a surprise. Oh, one foreigner who speaks Korean so well. But from my point of view, it's like you're further separating me by pointing out, like, oh, you are such a good speaking Korean foreigner.
Right.
But in reality, it's like, well,
yeah,
I am Korean.
it just makes you feel a little different, like you're not really part of, I guess, the Korean culture. You know? So that's one of the reasons why it annoys us, I think.
I need to cool down. I think I'm still
right off the bat, the first point, we're like heated. Yeah, but I mean, again, they usually mean well by it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have one. I don't know if you can relate entirely to this.
Okay.
But this is something that I hear all the time. It's all Korean girls, or all half Korean girls, are the prettiest. Do you hear this statement? Probably not to you.
Yeah, they don't ever say it to me. But yes, I do hear statements about like half Koreans looking exotic and looking very beautiful, looking different.
Yeah. Which, you know, so here's the thing. It may sound very almost surly of me, or kind of like ungrateful to say, people think, oh, half Koreans are beautiful. Like, it's a wonderful thing to hear. But I feel like it's either one, like, it's total blanket statement, because you also can't be like, well, not all half Koreans are pretty, right? Which doesn't sound that great. And at the same time, you also don't want to agree and be like, you're right, all half Koreans are pretty.
Right.
You know, it puts you in a kind of awkward spot. And when you hear it multiple times, you also kind of wonder, what is your motive behind this statement? Right? Because I've heard it too many times where it's followed up with, can I have your number? Right? And so it already just kind of puts me a little bit like, don't really know, should I acknowledge your statement or not? So that is one thing. And that goes hand in hand with another point. Can I just say it?
Go ahead,
Is it
go
okay?
ahead.
Okay. This one. So usually I get that statement from foreigners.
Yeah.
Oh, all half Koreans are prettiest. From Korean guys, what I'll often get is like, oh, I like half Korean girls. I don't like foreigners. I don't like Korean girls, but I like half Korean girls. And it puts you in a position of, again, I don't want to sound ungrateful. You know, I should, oh wow, someone finds me attractive. It is nice, but at the same time, that turns into kind of more of a fetishizing.
Yeah,
I think than anything, and it's different for every single person. I can't judge you immediately by
Right.
making that statement to me, but you'll feel this like, oh, you don't like Korean girls, you don't like white girls, you don't like foreign girls, but you like half Korean girls.
Right. It's kind of like yellow fever.
It is like yellow
Yeah.
fever. Yeah.
And it's such a, to me it's a, not disgusting, but it's just such a not cool thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
okay, that was a good point, something I can't really relate to. Here's another thing, and this happened to me the other day, and again, these Koreans mean well, but whenever I'm with a group of Koreans and we're trying to figure out what to eat, if it's like a spicy dish, or like, for example, me and a group of people, we're debating whether or not to eat tteokbokki, which is Korean rice cake, spicy Korean rice cake, and this one particular place has like different levels of spiciness, and they kept asking me if I can eat it, if I could handle the spice, and they literally, before we ordered, they checked with me like 2 times to make sure I knew what I was getting into, and then while we were eting, they asked me like at least 3 or 4 times, are you okay?
괜찮아? Yeah.
Right.
너무 맵지 않아?
And so it's annoying because for me, why couldn't I handle it? Why am I different? Why do I have to be treated a little differently? And I think the running theme so far has been just kind of a distinct separation between us as Halfies and maybe Koreans, you know? And so I think that's why it bothers me. Again, they mean well. They want to make sure that, you know, we know what we're getting into.
Right.
But after I say, no, I've been eating this my whole life, you know, I kind of want you to let it go at that point.
Sure.
Just trust me.
Yeah, but say it multiple times during a meal. Yeah, I know. I'll get this too. And it's just kind of, I feel like I'm getting really irritated for no reason.
It's okay, let it out. This is like a venting session for us.
I'm usually really calm and totally understanding in all of these situations. But since we're bringing it up, we might as well bring it up,
Yeah,
right?
let's just go all out.
Yeah.
Let's go all
No,
out.
it would be like in those cases too, where I'm out to eat and people will ask me like, oh, you can eat kimchi, or wow, you're really good at eating Korean food.
Right.
Oh, you know how to eat barbecue well. And I'm like, it's a very strange thing to hear. It would
Right.
almost be like if somebody is looking at a foreigner or a person from the States and be like, oh, you're good at eating sandwiches. Oh my, you can eat sandwiches so well. It's very, to me, like, but I grew up eating this food. To me,
Right.
this is so ordinary.
Right.
And the worst is when you say it once, like, oh, I grew up eating Korean food, right? But they'll still continually bring it up.
Right.
I just wonder why.
It is different because, like, in America, kind of like to your point, we wouldn't, like, if they came and they ate a hamburger, we wouldn't say, oh, wow, you can eat American food really
You're
well.
very good at that.
Or like if they came to America and you know, they're visiting, they say hello to us,
Right.
we'd be like, wow, you speak English so
Right,
well,
right.
based off of like one word,
Right,
you know?
exactly.
So I don't know why Koreans specifically, why they tend to do that.
Well, here's another one that I will get often.
Yeah.
When I am with my friends, let's say I'm with a friend who looks Korean but doesn't speak Korean very well. So I'll be the one who speaks Korean.
Right.
And it really frustrates me when they will not look at me. I'm the one speaking to them in Korean. But they will look at my friend who looks more Korean, who doesn't speak Korean, but they'll look and respond to that person instead of me.
Right.
Do you encounter this?
I've encountered that more so when I was in New Jersey, because I lived in Koreatown in New Jersey, and there were a lot of Korean Americans, you know, people my age who couldn't speak Korean, and I actually spoke Korean better than them. And so I would be the one at the Korean restaurant speaking Korean, ordering, and they would always look at the person that, you know, looked more Korean,
Right.
but they didn't speak the Korean. So, like, yeah. I've experienced that. So that is annoying.
Puts me on edge a little bit. I had an incident at a market where this ajushi who was selling something, I went and asked him, like, oh, are these, I don't remember what I asked. I asked him something, and he gave like a jump of shock, and he was like, oh, I expected her to speak Korean, but not you. You of all people, I didn't expect to speak Korean. And
Right.
he kept saying that to me, even as I was walking away, and following me and saying, where are you from? Where are you from?
I think you told me about that.
Oh yeah, I think I was really mad that day also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not angry people. I'm Korean. Puts me on edge a little
Yeah.
bit. I need to cool down.
Nah. No. Here's another one that I get, and it doesn't annoy me as much, but because I think this is really just pure curiosity. Because if I was in their shoes, I would ask this too. But like, they usually ask, do I like Korean girls or American girls? Right?
Yeah.
So I get that a lot from especially younger Koreans or Koreans my age. And it doesn't bother me as much as the other ones because I guess they're just curious, you know? But for me, when I say, or let's just say, if I were to say, oh, I want to date a Korean girl, they'll just act all surprised and shocked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, why?
They're surprised if you say you want to date a Korean girl?
Right, surprised in that, like, not in a bad way, more like, wow, oh, cool.
Oh. It's funny.
Yeah,
your mom's Korean.
If she's fine, I'll date her.
Oh my God.
Okay, anyways. All right, let's move on. Yeah, but I mean, you've experienced that.
I have. It's a little. I feel it's a little different for me. Gosh, this is actually a really hard question because it depends, I guess, on who's asking me. Because I don't think anyone specifically expects me to date or marry like Korean guy or let's say white guy, right? I don't know. I think it's a little different for me. Yeah, I think depending who's asking, because white guys will often just think I'm like Korean, and so to them it's like, oh, Korean girl. To Korean guy, I'm like more of like exotic type. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think people feel like surprised when I say like, oh, I'd rather date Korean guy or rather date white guy. Yeah, I don't think people are as surprised.
I think a lot of times, and I'm going off a little bit of assumption here and just my opinion, but I think a lot of times it also, like the shock factor comes with also how you look as a half Korean. I feel like if you look more Korean, then they won't be as shocked. It'll just be like, oh, okay. Yeah, but like someone like myself, you know, most Koreans here in Korea, they can't tell that I'm, you know, part Korean. They don't know where I'm from. But I think someone like myself, there tends to be more of a shock factor. And I think if I were to grow up here, I would probably naturally want to date a Korean girl because they're everywhere.
Well,
this is
obviously you date somebody that you feel like resemble your parent, right? Don't they usually say women will date a guy who is similar to their dad, right? Somebody who maybe acted like their dad or maybe like has some kind of similarities to their dad.
Right.
So it would make sense that you'd be interested in a Korean girl.
Right.
This is one, it's not necessarily pointed to myself, but when I see myself treated differently to other half Korean friends, I think myself having a benefit of speaking Korean well and also having lived here for a while, and depending like who I'm with or how I'm dressed that day or whatever, I can slide by one or the other. So sometimes if I pass like, oh, she's Korean enough, like I just pass, they'll treat me a certain way. But if I have another Korean friend with me who doesn't speak Korean well, let's say, or doesn't look as Korean, and they treat them differently, it kind of gets under my skin, you know, because it's like, why do you separate us, you know, simply on how we're looking?
Right.
Already within this separation between being half Korean myself and you as Korean, and then within this also category of half Korean, you're still bringing it down even farther. And so I think maybe it's like, I don't know. It makes me kind of upset too. So I do like to point that out. Like when people say to me like, oh, you speak Korean. Are you Korean? They'll ask me that. So are you Korean? I say, I'm half. And so is my friend. You know, kind of like to emphasize and point out.
You do that with me as well.
I do.
Yeah, you always make sure that they know that I'm also half Korean.
Right.
Right.
Because I don't want them to treat us any differently.
That's true.
Yeah. Here's one. Maybe you get this one too. This happens to me very oftenly in the States, where someone will ask me like, hey, where are you from? Right? And I'll say, oh, I'm from, let's say, I'm from California. I'll say, I'm from California. And then there'll be like a beat. They say, no, but where are you really from?
Really from?
Yeah. Where are you really from? This goes hand in hand often with someone who says, your English is so great. Like, I'll get this a lot, especially when I'm on the military base.
Right.
But you know what? I don't think that one bothers me as much. At first it did. I was like, what a silly remark. But now I just kind of go with it. It's like, oh, thank you. Your English is good too.
Right. Yeah, I guess they're trying to ask, like, in a way, they're trying to ask what your ethnicity is.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But
People
yeah,
are interested. Of course, I'm interested too.
Yeah, but a lot of times people are just ignorant.
Yeah.
They just ignorant. Have you ever heard that?
No, but it definitely did not sound ignorant the way you said that.
I know.
But these are for sure something to be aware of. Like, we recognize entirely that I would say 90% of the time it's not out to hurt you.
No, yeah.
90% of the time it's not like actively racist or trying to bring you down.
Right.
But just having heard it multiple times, also depending on the context, your own personal experience, I think that this is good for people to hear. So
definitely,
just made me aware.
So it just shines a little light on how we as half Koreans or biracial people might feel, and I think a lot of you out there who might be in a similar situation, you guys could probably relate. And so that's why we're doing this video, just to, I don't know, just kind of educate a little bit more and to bring some insight. Anyways, I think that is it. I think we covered a lot, at least for this video.
Yeah.
If there's more that we think of, actually I know there's more.
There's
we might
always
do.
more.
We might do a part 2. So let us know if you want to hear some more.
Yeah, if you have specific questions too.
Yeah.
You could even ask us. This is a good one. I'm sorry, I'm just making more work for you.
It's cool.
But
you just hijack my channel.
Someone could be like, for example, if you have a question that you've always wanted to ask someone who's half Korean. I know that there's people out there who are curious or they have questions, but they don't know, one, who to ask, and two, is it offensive to ask these certain things? So basically what I am saying is like, it's pretty open, at least we are quite open to those kind of questions, or just if you're curious. And we're really happy to answer those questions you have.
Yeah, so leave them in the comments and Becky will respond to all of them.
I will respond to all of them.
All right, so I think that is it for this video. Thank you so much for being on the channel.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so you've seen her on a previous video if you watched the video that she was in, but I think in that video, that was her artist persona. But I think today she's coming as her own, I guess, YouTuber persona.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so why don't you tell them a little bit about the project you're doing?
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Okay, so I do something called the Halfie Project, and the Halfie Project is pretty much I would say documenting. Documenting can be serious, it can be via interviews, it can be via something more artistic, videos and podcasts, photos and stories of the experiences of half Koreans, mixed cultured people, and that can include adoptees, that could include third culture kids, and of course half Koreans from all over the world. And we just want to share their stories and create this dialogue so we can have this community to explore what does it mean to be half Korean, what does that look like. I think because there are not so many and people are very separated, but now of course with the internet and over time new generation of half Koreans, I think it's really important to have this kind of conversation. So that's what the Halfie Project is doing. So if you're interested in that, whether you're half Korean or not, or you just want to understand what does it mean to be half Korean, what does that look like, I hope that you'll follow me and my team at the Halfie Project.
Yep, linked in the description below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any comments or anything to respond to, or if you're biracial and you can relate to whatever we say, or you have your own things that annoy you, leave them in the comments below. Love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, we'll check you out in the next video. And remember to always seize the day. Peace.
Peace.